Good afternoon, folks. Here on Anglesey, beautiful island of Anglesey, for the Ring of Fire Coastal Ultra. 135 miles over 3 days, massive lap of the island. Roughly 35 miles, 65 miles, 30 miles, something like that, if that adds up to 135. Just at the start here, fantastic atmosphere for everyone. It's going to be a long day. It's been very sunny first thing. It's a 1 o'clock start today, 9-hour time limit, so 10 p.m. cut off. It's been very sunny this morning, very warm. It's still quite warm, slightly muggy, but you can probably see it's just started to cloud over now. So it'll be interesting. There's a 1-day firelighter race that runs the same first day, and then the Ring of Fire is 3 days. About 100 people doing Ring of Fire, I think, if everyone's turned up. So probably main thing is trying to take it easy on the first day and not overdo it, because there's 2 days to come. But at the same time trying to get a bit of pace, because the faster you finish the longer sleep you get. So yeah, this is the start. It's 10 to 1, we're off at 1 p.m. I'll try and do some updates and we'll see how the fun goes. Cheers. So we're 11 miles in, 2 hours gone. It's been warm. It had just started to cloud over and a bit of a breeze, but just now the sun's come out, so it's probably about 22-23 degrees, slightly humid, which isn't ideal. Currently running along the beach without Chariots of Fire soundtrack, which is a little bit disappointing that the race organisers didn't put that on, but we'll cope for the moment. I think we're generally good. Gone out brisk, if not fast, but seem to be in a sort of midfield pack of quite a few people moving similarly, so not overly worried about going too fast at the moment. 11 miles down. Hey, just got a little bit over mile 22, probably quite a bit more. Just on quite a horrendously stony beach that will definitely be in the feedback form. And now just annoyingly holding my phone while the race photographer tries to take a photo of me. It's generally been good, certainly since checkpoint 2 Church Bay. It's been a much more rugged and up and down coast path. Still spectacularly beautiful. Temperatures just started to drop a bit and it's kind of got cloudy now, so much better running conditions. All good. He says trying to follow his nav through the phone. Yeah, so still going fairly well. Should hopefully get this one done in the daylight, giving me a bit more time to prep for tomorrow. A little bit over 22 miles gone. Let's keep going. That's 33 miles done. Just a couple of miles left to go. Just need to find the last honesty book and then turn into the town for the finish, so about 2 miles to go. Definitely course just got more and more brutal as the day went on. First half very flat, second half much more like the sort of Cornish coast path in terms of uppy downy. Can't really get any pace and quite taxing. Generally, fingers crossed, feeling okay in terms of no specific injuries. Back a bit sore from the pounding. It's obviously sort of mainly dry, although it has just started quite heavy rain. Think I'm just about going to make it in the light, which is fantastic. Feel quite sorry for those behind near the cut-off, because it's losing the light, it's raining, and some of the steps are a little bit grim. So just need to focus, find an honesty book, head into the town, and then we'll be done today. 33 miles done. Keep smiling. Cool, that's the end of day one. Finishing about 7 hours 30 in the end, which is fantastic. Because I was expecting, well, I would have been happy with 8 hours, although it doesn't look it from this video. Did finish in the light, heavy rain shower, but that actually, once that went, it got a bit lighter, so didn't have to faff with head torch, made the navigation easier at the end. Yeah, definitely brutal second, more brutal than I expected on the second half sort of thing, so we'll see what happens. Garmin says 4 days recovery, but we go again in about 8 hours time. See you tomorrow. Day 2 Ring of Fire, just at the start, a little bit late going off because of tracker faff, but that's all of us. Tom and Fran still here. That's probably it for the moment. Let's get this done. Morning. Day 2, about 11 miles in. Sorry for the short intro. Registration got there in good time, but they weren't ready with trackers and stuff, so it was all a bit of a rush. And then they actually set us off a bit late, which was a bit annoying. Yeah, hence the short thing. Got a good bit of food down last night. Got a good bit of sleep early on. And then a bit restless, but I think I got a good bit of rest. So actually sort of, for a body point of view, actually feeling okay on the first bit of this morning. It is apparently the hilliest bit first that we're sort of just getting towards the end of, across some gorgeous scenery again. Early views of Snowdonia. Lots of heavy rain in the night, so getting slippy, and just raining now. I was about to say it's dry, but just started to rain now. Stomach's a bit low, but we're about 2k from the first checkpoint. It's a long first stint, and there's a promise of, I think, a bit of breakfast rolls and stuff. So get to the first checkpoint in 2k, 11 miles down now. Try and get a good bit of food down. Plenty of time in hand at the moment on cut-offs and stuff, so we'll just keep going. 22 miles up, so that's third distance for today. I think today really is thingy of 3/3. First third has been pretty sort of, not as brutal as the last bit of yesterday, but it has been sort of up and down along beaches and that kind of stuff. Second third, well, there's still a bit more stuff to get around the headland, which is going to be hard going, but then there should be a flatter bit along the Menai Straits and past Menai Bridge and stuff, and then the last third will be very much as it starts to get dark and into the dunes. I think first third has been about building a buffer, so mental math isn't super strong, but I've building a decent buffer at the moment in terms of cut-offs and stuff. Second third, I think I'll just be trying to hold that buffer through the sort of flatter and roadier bits, and then third will be trying to, well, having that buffer in hand to try to hit the sort of final cut-off. So I'm a good bit ahead of cut-offs at the moment, not a worry at the moment. We'll obviously see how it goes. Yeah, not 100%, really just I think a bit general fatigue, stomach knock 100%. Legs sort of okay, but I'm just not finding the kick to get running, and that's a bit of a shame, because I would have preferred to run a bit more this morning, because then it makes it a bit different when you're walking in the afternoon. So too much walking just gets a bit boring after a while. But 22 miles down, third distance. 33 miles, that's halfway on day 2 and halfway on the Ring of Fire. Blimey, it's tough. It's nice this morning with a bit of rain but no wind, kept it cool. It then got a bit muggy when there was cloud cover, and now there's actually a bit of sun poking through as well, so I know I'm never happy, but it does make it rather warm, and I'm suffering for that. Main thing, I'm okay walking along, it's just I can't generate any pace in my legs, so on the flatter road bits I'm not getting the time that I need to offset the slower bits. So probably at the last checkpoint about 35 minutes ahead of the cut-off, but that's deteriorating quite rapidly. Not really much choice but to carry on at the moment. Feels wrong to actually drop. Feels unlikely I'm going to make it within the cut-off, but I do feel obligated to see how far I can get before getting cut off, rather than proactively pulling myself out. A bit better having had some chips, so that's good. But yeah, it's just the cumulative fatigue of yesterday as the build-up, sort of into the evening, and then a brute of a day today, just taking a toll on me and clearly lots of other people. So we'll see how we go. Anyway, 33 miles in, halfway day 2. Mile 44, 2/3 of the way through the day. It's been a lot flatter, quite a bit of road. I've actually been able to run a little bit better than I was earlier. So although the clock isn't exactly although the mileage isn't exactly zooming round, and the clock is ticking away, I don't think I'm losing time. I think I've still got a bit of a buffer. Be interested in the next checkpoint to make a bit of an assessment of that. The slight unfortunate thing is I think I am going to get through the next checkpoint before the cut-off, which does mean I've got to do a long stint until I've got any chance of getting timed out, so no rest there. Yeah, I kind of feel I've put enough food and liquid in, even though things aren't completely happy. So we'll keep going 2/3 of the way through. In theory it's supposed to all be a bit flatter on the way in now, but of course it is going to start to get, well, it's already starting to get a bit dark because there's rain clouds coming, and it will just get dark into the evening, making sort of nav and running harder. So we'll see. We're just short of 55 miles, but I'm doing this one now because we'll obviously lose the light in a minute. Running along the beach, which is really quite special. The sand's firm enough to actually almost be runnable. Fortunately I've got a tailwind, or else I'd be having sand in my eyes at the moment. And it's just a bit of a sunset with a bit of Snowdonia hills in the background. So yeah, quite a special moment. You'll probably guess morale's taken a slight uptick. Kind of feels doable now. Still got 11-12 miles to grind through, but providing I don't make any navigation errors, I've got enough of a time buffer now to just keep doing a jog, fast walk, and see it through. So just have to try and pick an honesty book on the dunes, one more checkpoint, one more honesty book, and then try and bring it home for day 2. Yeah, 55 miles down, of about 65-66 for the day. So a bit of a catch-up video because I missed the end of day 2 and the start of day 3 videos, so apologies for that. And a bit of a spoiler alert, I'm a couple of miles into day 3, so you can maybe guess what happened. End of day 2 first. Had a really good last 10 miles. I think I'd fed just before marathon before when I did that update. Really able to push on and run quite a lot of it in, so finished a little bit before 11 o'clock, so it's a bit under 17 hours I think. Yeah, had a good run in. Really hit it on my head on the last bit. I've got loads of sand in my shooting slopes. Went through some wet fields on an intentional diversion towards the end, and that just really caused a bit of toe issue. So yeah, that wasn't so brilliant. Really ended day 2 just so tired. Wasn't quite sure what was going to happen, but yeah, got day 2 done, which was fantastic. Happy with that one. Right, let's move on to day 6. Yeah, this is day 3, as I say, about 2 miles in. Been in for 2 minutes since the start of day 4. Got some milkshakes down me at the end of yesterday. Didn't fancy any solid food, but I really did feel I needed to. This wasn't too bad. A full 4.5 hours sleep. It basically meant to sleep for the entire time. I didn't have the best sleep. Went to bed until 2 that felt a really big difference. Just kind of walking around, kind of getting in the van this morning and stuff. Legs all feel relatively good actually. A bit of tingling around the toes, so hopefully that'll hold. But yeah, quite pleased with kind of maybe getting some food like down. Hopefully getting the right confident. So yeah, let's pretend this is the start of day 3. Pretty good miles. I'll try to do the bits. But yeah, day 3. That's 11 miles up on day 3. Wind and hail in the face and the side for the first couple of miles. But then it's really dried up. Looks like it's going to get sunny, you'll see the blue sky behind. But at the moment, perfectly run conditions. Good temperature, a little bit of a breeze. Generally moving well. Clearly fatigued. But actually still moving fairly well, all things considered. Hopefully just get this one down whilst trying to enjoy the scenery. 11 miles down. 20 miles in. It's running really well. Quite a bit actually, sort of along it. So some really good stuff, got really good distance in. Moving well on the rest of it. Possibly got a bit over probably just a little bit over time. So I ended up doing a bit of a lazy trip over in Bangor, which I definitely didn't need. It was one of those just kind of bruising the kneecap thing. So it was incredibly painful, probably also just to get out of it psychologically, kind of doing it a bit of a silly trip out. But I've stopped it since then. So that's annoying because it was going well. Unfortunately, this one getting it done, it's definitely getting warm now. It's 22 miles done, just hit 2:30 today. One more check home. Try that holding out to some good stuff. So that's Ring of Fire Ultra done. Back and showered now. Showed about the left knee. That really did kind of spoil the enjoyment a little bit the last sort of 10 miles or so. But got it done. Absolutely fantastic time overall. Such amazing scenery. Tough race in terms of the cut-offs, so certainly not for everyone. But if you can do that and you can do the planning, a bit of planning in terms of low tide, high tide, and all that kind of route choice, would absolutely recommend the Ring of Fire. Really good organisation, really good marshals throughout the weekend. There you go, you can see me now. So yeah, Ring of Fire done, 135 miles over 3 days. Got the t-shirt literally, and now for a better rest and recovery. Not quite sure what the next challenge is going to be, but it's not going to be anything like this one.